Hi, I'm Lou Prestia from EFI. Thanks for joining us today. We're here today to talk about creating custom ICC output profiles for your Fiary-driven print system. The first question is, why do I need to make a custom output profile? The Fiary comes with several excellent factory profiles for standard paper types like coated and uncoated. The reason we make a custom profile is because we want to print on a particular type of paper. It might even be a coated type of paper, but not the one which was profiled by the factory. Also because we want to print with our preferred print settings, such as the halftone screen ruling and resolution we choose to run our press at. Finally, whenever we run a digital print system, it is influenced by the environment in which we operate it. So the humidity and temperature in your print shop is likely different than where the factory profile was made. For best results, we need to create a custom profile. There are many tools for creating profiles available today. We're here to talk about Fiary Color Profiler Suite, a direct integrated tool set with the Fiary for making profiles. There are three challenging parts to making an ICC profile, which Color Profiler Suite will help us to address. Those three challenges are how to print the profiling patches, how to configure the expert settings when making the profile, and how to load the final profile on the Fiary so it's ready to be used with all your jobs and workflows. In a minute, we'll talk about Fiary Color Profiler Suite and its use with the Fiary controller for digital print systems. Before we begin, I wanted to take a moment to remind you that it's only by using the Fiary controller and custom profiles that we create from Color Profiler Suite that we create a complete ecosystem where the creative ideas that you begin in the Adobe Creative Suite tools can ultimately be accurately expressed on the printed pages that you and your customers see. Let's take a look. In Color Profiler Suite 4.6, the Express Profiler module was added. Express Profiler allows us to create a Fiary profile with the calibration set that is used with it in 5 easy steps. Let's talk a little bit about what this means. Whenever I profile a digital print system or any print system, I really want to calibrate that system first. Calibration refers to linearizing or standardizing the tonal response on that print system. So if I draw a tone curve of the input compared with the output, a linear system will have an input, which might be 50% cyan, mapped to an expected output, which might also be 50% cyan or something like this. The tone curve typically looks like this, and the purpose of calibrating is to get the output where it is expected for a given input. By controlling the tonal response of the print system before I make the ICC profile, I can be sure that this ICC profile will be useful over a long period of time because I will recalibrate the system on a daily basis to use it with this ICC profile. Express Profiler serves three purposes then. Create the calibration set, create the ICC profile, and finally, we create a Fiary preset which ties together the calibration with the profile with the image settings that were used to print the calibration and profile. Again, these things such as the halftone screen ruling and the resolution of the print system. Let's take a look at how this works. To begin with Express Profiler, I launched the Express Profile module from Color Profiler Suite Launchpad. In the first step, I choose my Fiary print server and I give a name to the profiling session. The name that I specify here will be used to name the calibration set, the profile, and the Fiary preset I will create. By clicking on Next, I'm taken to the job properties for my prints. This is where I configure the paper settings and the image quality settings that I referred to earlier, such as the resolution and screen ruling. Pick my paper type, specify the output tray. At this point, when I click Next, the calibration patches are printed. I will next measure the calibration patch pages. Once I've completed measuring the calibration patches, profiling patches will be sent by Express Profiler to the Fiery server. The next step is to measure the profiling patches. Before I proceed, I also want to show you that the profile and calibration we just created have been tied together into a Fiery preset. So if I go to my Fiery to the job options, you can see the preset here. Also, if I want to configure a workflow for everyone in my shop to use, I can create a virtual printer and use the preset to configure the virtual printer as we show here. The other way we can use Color Profiler Suite, in addition to creating a test print to evaluate visually, is we can do a numerical comparison. We can compare colorimetrically the print we just made using something like a control bar with the reference print conditions we're trying to match, such as ISO-coded or Grackle or SWAP. So, let's have a look at the results we got in our light booth. I'm showing two samples in the light booth. The first is created using the factory default profile that shipped with the Fiery for the coated paper. The second is the custom profile we created using Color Profiler Suite 4.6, the Express Profile module, to create both the calibration, the profile, and the preset that lets me select both. Let's take a closer look. Looking at the two prints, we see several test components, including RGB and CMYK source images, as well as a control bar. Looking at the image in the upper right, we see an image that is grayscale, but is in fact split down the center, so that half the image is printed with black only, and the other half the image with CMYK. The intent of this test image is to check how gray or neutral our CMYK is compared to pure black. If we look closely at this, we see that on the factory profile, we are actually a little bit non-neutral. We look a little bit red on the color side of this grayscale image. The profile created with Color Profiler Suite 4.6 Express Profile module has perfect neutrality. Bear in mind that we're looking at this in a D50 light booth, so that if this were viewed outside a D50 light booth, the problem we call metamerism would cause these prints to look even more different, and the factory profile likely to look much warmer and more red, especially if you have fluorescent lights in your design area. Looking to the Pantone colors on this part of the form, we can compare the actual Pantone fan book, again in the D50 light booth, to the factory default profile, and we see a pretty close match. But when I look at this sample, the print created with the custom profile from Express Profile module in Color Profiler Suite, we see a perfect match to the Pantone colors. This means that this print is a perfect representation of what was created or what was in the original design in the Creative Suite. Fiery Color Profiler Suite is a complete toolset for color management, including not just the modules that we've explored today, but additional modules to create a complete toolset, including modules for inspecting profiles and measurements, for making device link profiles, for editing profiles for last-minute requirements or customer demands, and a tool for creating monitor profiles so that we can preview on the display what the print will look like. Color Profiler Suite also includes all the training you need to succeed with the product in the form of how-to guides, which guide you through specific operations, and modules within the Fiery Global University. The Color Profiler Suite lessons or modules from Fiery Global University are in fact included with the product. Color Profiler Suite, given the tools we've shown today and the other tools I've just described, is the way to complete the process that begins in Adobe Creative Suite with a fantastic design and color concept all the way down to the printed page which the customer receives.
At help.efi.com, you can find the technical documentation on Color Profiler Suite. We have a CPS user forum found at fieryforums.efi.com. Lastly, visit efi.com/cps for all other resources and to download a free trial of Color Profiler Suite. At EFI, we are committed to your success. Thank you.